criticism. So what we took out of it is basically we sought out, there were two, three examples there where they actually tried to give us multiple ideologies which later on became dominant, or how people are using dominant ideologies to their use. So what we thought out is we actually break it out and figure out a very basic and important feature of a dominant ideology, or how something becomes dominant and how people make use of it. So what we actually figured out is there are two parts of it. First is any ideology which is dominant should be acceptable to the mass. So it should have a face which should be good looking, and which should say that this is good for the community, this is good for the masses. It should be like everybody who sees it does like the idea in first instance. But whatever is good for the society, you are not going to sell it, because it does not make any sense for the ruling society. Because when there is certain profit which they are going to make out of it, then only something is beneficial for them, and that's why they actually propagate the idea. So that's the other phase, the hidden phase of it, and that we call profit. So that's what which drives any ideology. And so these two parts combinedly make a ideology a dominant ideology. So I term this thing as a false truth. There is always a false truth behind any dominant ideology, and you don't see it. It's like it's hidden from you. And every time an idea is told to you, there is a mode or communication way by which they actually try to legitimize the basic idea. You go through it, you see it, and then you don't even realize that they are trying to make sense, in a way they are basically diversifying the main idea. So let's say you are the ruling class, you have an idea, and you think that if that idea goes popular, you can make money out of it. But you will not be able to make money unless and until people buy that idea. So now you need to make people believe in it. And how do you make people believe in it? Is by selling something which they think is good for them. So now you need a mode which can actually help you to make you believe in their product and not see what is the underlying intention behind it. So for that, to explain that, we think.
Okay, so we have two clips for you.
So what we actually wanted to portray is, there are two movie clips, and one which
here everyone knows DDLJ, so they could remember the scene or recollect the scene easily. They are celebrating with a wine, and there are many other movies where they show that you can actually have wine with your family or friends or daughters, and it doesn't matter. So is it just that it is random that they are showing this, or unintentional, or they are not trying to tell you anything? Actually, it is not random. What they are trying, it is well thought out plot of corporate. What here they are trying to do, which most of us fail to perceive, is they are trying to impose certain ideas which doesn't go with our mindset, yet we are accepting it. We don't point it out. In these clips or such kind of displays, they are trying to say that it is okay to have a drink with your family, or it is okay to celebrate with your family with a drink, which doesn't match the current scenario of Indian society, not mostly. Again, they are trying to subconsciously legitimize the social drinking in our society. So that doesn't go with what actually is existing or what actually is prevalent. So they are trying to motivate you or make you believe that such things can happen and will happen.
That's our basically globe of ideology. So they are using movies here to actually make a false thing which we never thought that which is not a tool. We never sit with our, most of us never sit with our family and share a drink with it, drink with us. So the idea is, by this mode of communication, they are actually making you believe into a false truth, and now it's become a big market for them. But Payars, what they are trying to do is, now they are so, this is a very big market. Alcohol will, the alcohol consumption will increase in this way as and when it is accepted in our society slowly and slowly. So this is in a way corporates hidden agenda to increase their profits. So this is one of the way where an ideology which is propagated by a mode of propagating a false truth, they are making some money. So this is
This might be happening in India, but it is only the case with only small segment. But they are putting it in such a way that it can happen and it will happen. This will ultimately lead to new market for booze makers and thereby increasing their cash.
So the rest of the presentation goes on with relating the concept of ideology. So I will try to ask few questions like anyone can try to give reasonable answer for that. We get some goodies. So what is that? So let unveil this bad breed who are otherwise called as corporate managers. So through few examples. So I will take an example of hypermarket. So it's one of the sectors which is treated as convenience shopping. So it attracts a lot of people to it. So what these managers do is like they use a marketing named as unconscious marketing to make people come towards hypermarketing to make them buy more without even the people realizing that they have been marketed. So first is I will try to extend this using two instances. So first is like you would have gone to some hypermarkets. Can you explain why the entrance and exit is located at different places? Can you try applying this concept of ideology? Anyone? Two chances. Okay, yes, the answer is, they get a better answer. So see, like you have gone to some hypermarket, you can see the entrance and exit at two different places. Can you try using the concept of ideology?
So that you can go to the entrance for one people coming out.
But the two ends can be at opposite. Like once you enter, you can easily exit.
So that is your answer number four.
So I think both answers are somewhat related to this ideology. So what you can do is like you can share this job. So see, like yeah, people actually perceive it as a add-on, convenience add-on. Like if the entrance and exit is at different places, it doesn't create some congestion. People can easily move in and out of hypermarket. So people think it has in that way. But what is these tricky guys, tricky managers? What they do is like if you see in a hypermarket, the entrance and exit is at the two extremes of the hypermarket. So the people who are entering an hypermarket need to visit all sections of a hypermarket. So this is the hypermarket operates in an impulsive. The people who are people don't plan before going to hypermarket in most of the cases. So if they see a product, they'll get tempted to buy that. So the managers use this to increase their profit, even though it looks like reducing congestion, but it actually is a means for increasing profit for the managers. So one more instance is like, see, you have seen big jumbo shopping carts outside hypermarket. So people actually perceive it. So people think that they don't need to carry the item, so they take the goods in the shopping cart. They think it as that way. But the existing scenario is like, see, people are limited. People are limiting their purchase by the capacity of their hands. So they won't buy more than that. So if the shopping cart is big, they can purchase more, and that adds to the profit of the company. So these tricky guys are using this concept of unconscious marketing to increase their sales. So fine. So right. So, but our question is like, you don't need to stop following these ideologies. So if you follow these, if you stop following these ideologies, someone or the other will be continuing this. But if you see, in the overall picture, it's actually boosting the Indian economy. So these ideologies can be followed. It shouldn't be stopped. So.
Thank you.